What's up, solutionaries? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Maj Toure Show. I am Maj Toure, your host. Welcome. Y'all know the routine. Hit the like button. Tell me where you from. We talking about what's Charlie Kirk's assassination of professional hit. We got our brother Nick the Reaper Irving pulling up shortly. And I want to get right to the brass tacks. What, for obviously all of you know, yesterday, Charlie Kirk was killed. He was shot. He was assassinated. There's no other way to say it. He was assassinated. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Guys, you know, givesingo.com/solutionary is sliding past on a ticker. You get some value tonight. We had some good support last night. We're still pushing to get $2,000 raised to make sure that we are paying for women that want to take our Understanding Imminent Threat course. This is on the tail end of the stabbing of the young lady in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I'm saying that because violence doesn't happen in a fucking vacuum. Violence happens all over the country, all different types of places, all right, all across America. And so our job, and when we see this, is to make sure that we are arming people, pun intended, arming people with the soft, hard, and skills and tools to defend their life. And so when we're having these conversations about things on the show, the entire point of having these conversations is to make sure we're leaving people with information and leaving people in a direction that improves their life. Okay? That's important. So saying this to say, we want to ask people questions and we want to cut through the foolishness. Now, obviously, there's questions all over the place around the shooting. I do some shooting. I am not an expert. I keep myself nice and humble by making sure that I'm around and having access to people that are way better than me in every single discipline that I'm in. And so tonight, we're going to ask an expert about the shooting. Because again, there are too many wild theories, and I get it. This is what happens in the information age. A part of the confusion in the babbling, the Tower of Babel, is to make sure that people are talking at each other but not really communicating with each other. There's a bunch of confusion. There's massive over-information. We're going to over-inform everybody. Okay? And in that process, we don't get to solutions. So we want to step back. We want to make sure that we are not running into something that we're speaking above our pay grade. We don't know what's going on, and we let some of the information settle. And so, in my opinion, I'm going to play the the shorter video from a little further away because I don't want to catch the strike on YouTube. All right? I'm going to play the video, and I got a few questions that we have for our brother Nick, who'll be here shortly. And again, guys, if you get some value from the show, make sure that you are supporting the work. Make sure, I don't know if you have Nick's series of books. I do. I own all of them. Me personally. I think that the people that are giving you their time and that are giving you their information and their views, you should support them. So if you get some value from the show tonight, Nick's going to be in for about 20 or 30 minutes. If you got questions, please ask. I'm going to play this shortly. We're going to bring Nick to the stage. And I want everybody to tell me where you're from in the comments. If you're watching this on X, share the space all over the place. You know how this goes. If you're talking about freedom, limiting government, your page is shadow banned. If you thought that social media was not a federal operation, I don't know where you've been this whole time. I just don't know. So with that being the case, we want to make sure that we're sharing it. While we're here, we're going to make sure that we're communicating and spreading the message to as many people as possible. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring Nick up now, and then we're going to get to it. Let me make sure I do this now. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. How you feeling down there?
Not bad. Hot.
What I was going to say, when I hit your jack, I was like, I know everybody in the universe is texting his phone right now.
Yeah,
Let me
bro.
just see. So how has your phone been going off the hook over the last, since yesterday afternoon when this situation happened?
Yeah, it has been. I just wrapped up the Inside Edition interview.
Mm-hmm.
I have like another one after this, but I'm like done after that, bro. To be honest with you. Yeah. Like when you had texted this morning, I was at the gym, bro.
Look, and when I hit you, I was like, oh damn, I ain't even tell my brother good rise, and I ain't say none of that. I'm just like, yo, Nick. And you
No,
was
you're
like, and I
good.
was like, yeah, I knew when you was like, yo, I'm at the gym, bro. I was like, yeah, there we go, there we go.
Yeah, I was getting hit, bro. That little sparring match today, sparring session. Yeah. So I'm
Oh,
like, I'm well relaxed right now, if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
good,
Rastafari, brother.
good, no doubt. Hey, so for those that are not aware, the few people that may not be aware, can you explain to the people who you are, how you're growing as a human, where you came from at
Yeah,
different times, you know?
yeah,
And I'll say it that way, just for the few people that may not be aware.
yeah. So I would say, like, in my past life, I was an Army Special Operations soldier in 3rd Ranger Battalion, served as a machine gunner, assaulter, designated marksman, sniper, and sniper team leader. Um, I was credited with like 33 kills in Afghanistan over a 3.5 month time frame, and uh, yeah, I would go as far as that. Like I was a special operations sniper. Now I'm an author and just practicing like a new way of life, man. New way of life.
I got to ask you some of these different questions because,
Oh, but Pauls, I'm sorry. But when me and you met, I was on a whole like different path, bro.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
For those that don't know, me and Nick initially met. That what was that, like 7 or 8 years ago?
Bro, that was back in 2017. Yeah,
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
So we met on the this. We have a mutual homie in Big Zeke. Shouts to Big Zeke Stout doing amazing things. Um,
Oh
we
yeah.
met on the set of, what was the name of the show?
Master of Arms, bro.
Master of Arms. And when Zeke hit me and was like, bro, you gotta come out here, I was like, all right, I'm driving out there. And when I seen the whole setup, I was like, yo, this is super dope. And I just want to thank you, man. Since then, you've been extremely gracious with your time, extremely supportive, you know. And I didn't get a chance to really fully tell you this, man. When you hit me up after my, you know, just shot me a text after my pop pass, I
Oh, bro,
really
you're good,
appreciate it,
bro.
man.
You're
Because
good. You're good, man. You're good. You're
you
good.
know what
You're
I
good.
mean?
You're good.
We
Yeah.
sometimes don't check on our homies. And so I'm kind of used to that. But anyway, thank you for that, brother.
No, I'm
Uh,
good, bro. You're good, bro. You're good. I know
so,
what that's like, man.
right, right.
We all have to go through it, you know what I mean? But yeah, nothing but love, bro. Nothing but love. I
These are
would hope
some,
you like be there for me too, man. You know?
right. These are some of the questions that I want to ask because you said something that's very key. You said, um, in my former life, when
Yeah.
these types of situations happen, and I obviously know everybody's going to hit your phone, right? How do you process that? Is that something from your life that you're like, absolutely not, maybe here and there, but I try to absolutely close that section out? Or, yo, Bookworm is wild. Bookworm is wild. Yo, you hear what Bookworm said? Nothing
Yes.
wrong with a little bro.
Yes. No, bro. I would say like for me, man, I struggle with it daily, you
Yeah,
know. Going back to that life, I really do, bro. Like, yeah. Like it's either a dream, nightmare, if you want to call it that, or
mm,
I might catch a whiff of like a something, a scent in the air,
yeah,
and I go back to that place, or I could be sitting down with the family or writing a book, and I go
yeah,
back to that place often. Yeah, at least I don't know, multiple times a day. I do. But like I've taken um other forms of medication outside of the VA
yeah,
that's really helped and helped me put things into perspective.
yeah,
Like I don't think that stuff is ever going to go away permanently. It's
yeah.
a thought, it's an experience, but it makes me who I am today, you know.
Mm, right.
And like, yeah, I can access that point, but I don't like willingly go out and like plot on doing something bad one day. It's just like thoughts of things that happen overseas, like
Yeah,
watching my best friend get shot,
yeah,
doing certain sniper operations that were like extremely fun, stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's not like I dwell on it and want to go back there. I'm
yeah.
trying to get over it. I don't think it ever will, but I know how to. I'm learning how to cope with it. Yeah, pretty much.
It's, you know, it's funny. I remember having a conversation with one of my guys who I haven't seen in years, man. And
Yeah,
he's a good brother. And killed from Tailored Defense Training Group. But anyway, I haven't seen him in a while. And I remember we would have conversations. He actually is who I did my first 72-hour survival course with.
Oh, wow.
He ran that. And
I know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's vanished. I mean, his digital footprint is non-existent, right?
Good for him. Yeah.
Right, right. And so we would talk about things, and I remember one time he pulled me to the side and he said, Maj, you don't acknowledge your trauma. You think that your trauma, because for those that don't know, I've been in 3 shootouts, and it's different. One of my friends,
wild, bro. That's wild. One is enough. One is too many.
It's wild. And so one of my friends got, he caught a headshot, and I had to hold his skull. So, as he was kind of passing, and I remember I kind of like didn't associate it a certain way, and I remember him saying, "Yo, that is your type of combat for where you came from."
Yeah.
And and so I'm always easy because I've never really taken the time to really. I work out, we do the classes, but I've never taken the time to really acknowledge that way. And so I'm even when
that's a mask, bro. You're just putting on new masks, bro. You got to release that stuff, dude. Like, there's ways to go about it. If you need help, I know people who are like really good at this stuff, but like I get to working out. It's a mask more than anything else, bro. You got to really release that, man. Yeah. That's my opinion. I'm not saying like, you should do it 100%. That's just what I think was beneficial for me. And if that helps you, take that knowledge, bro, and run with it. But release that, man.
I agree. I agree in this because I did for a very long time just not. I just never. If I don't look at it, it ain't there.
Been there, bro.
Vibe. You
been there, bro. You got to let it go, man. Let it go.
For sure. All right. So look, before we start getting all of this therapy shit and you start making me think about,
right?
I'm gonna play this clip for everybody, right? For guys, listen, everybody. I want y'all to ask the questions. Share the space all over the place. We're gonna get into it. If you're just tapping in, you didn't miss much. We just introduction, communicating, all of these different things. Again, for those of y'all that did tap in, this is my guy Nick. This is our brother Nick. I want y'all to make sure that you're supporting his books. He has a series of books. All right. I generally don't read novels. I own and have read all of Nick's novels, every single one of them. So make sure you guys are following, supporting. We're going to ask a few questions about this shooting. And I know Nick, like you said, he has another show coming up. So we're going to keep it brief. So, guys, let's be very succinct and let's move forward. This right here is the video of the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Now, again, this one is further back. This footage, there is one that's a little bit closer. It's a lot more gruesome. So I didn't want to share that one necessarily with the YouTube audience, but I'll play it. And I got a few questions for you, bro. So let's play this here. And I'll play it a few times. It's like 7 seconds.
Oh my God. Go, run.
Let's play it again.
Oh my God. Go, run.
First thought, you hear that, you see this happens, you hear, hey, such and such happened to Charlie Kirk. You see this or you see the other content, what is your first thought?
I know he was shot by at least a rifle at distance. From the impact and the report of the rifle, I knew automatically he was like from a distance. And the reaction of the crowd around him, I knew he was like probably from a rooftop. It's weird. I think everybody, people are starting to catch on, I think, which is sad for national security, or even this private events like this, man, that the rooftop is the best place to go,
Why was there no one, and I know Charlie doesn't have Secret Service detail, but at this point, me and you, like, I looked at some of your Twitter before here, and I'm like, yo, I was thinking the same thing, right? What on earth would be the reason that if this is around 180 to 200 yards out, why does nobody cover that building? In your experience, why is that building not covered?
Dude, I have no idea, bro. Like, after I got out the military, I went to private contracting with Triple Canopy, and this was what we did, our bread and butter. To not have the rooftop secured, it's wild to me at this point, especially what happened after Trump and stuff like that. But just in general, like your security detail, you at least want to have the rooftops covered at minimum.
That level of not lack of attention to detail, does that make you start to think that this was a setup or a professional hit or a random shooter from your perspective? Now, I'm asking these questions. I want folks I know some of y'all in the chat, y'all are like, bro, that wasn't, listen, I want everybody to share whatever they want to share in the chat, no doubt. But I'm asking these questions also for people that may not know what you guys in the chat may know. I get it. Y'all know everything, no doubt, but some people don't know everything, all right? So from your perspective, is this professional? Is this a rando? From your perspective, which area would that lean more towards?
I don't think it was a professional, no. First I'll settle on that. So like his rifle setup, his egress route, his final firing position, none of that screams professional. If it were a true professional, you're not going to see the guy like ever. You would have never. And his egress route sucked. So did his firing position. It sucked. And 200 yards is not far. My wife can shoot that quarter-size targets at 200. It's not a hard shot at all. Anybody with a basic background in long rifle shooting or going out to the local gun range can pull that off, easily. But look at his rifle setup, the scope mount, where he positioned the scope at on his rifle. That's not good. Like
somebody got a black eye.
Somebody got a black eye, and after his first shot, the zero's off. The zero's off. Maybe that alludes to why he did not fire a second shot. Maybe, I don't know, but that rifle setup sucks. If he were like a professional shooter, he'd at least have bipods on it and would have picked a better rifle as opposed to, what Carlos Hathcock was using back in Vietnam, the 30-06 round in a similar rifle setup.
Okay, let's put the 10 hats on for a quick second. Is it possible that it's so professional that we make it look like that it's not professional?
I was introduced to that theory not too long ago. And at first I was like, I explained why, because that would be too many telltale signs for him to get caught if he were a professional. But then my mind went off on the deep end, and I was like, what if this guy's so much of a professional that he did set this up that way because he was already gone by the time they were going to find this? It wouldn't matter anyways. Like the type of guys that don't exist, real life spooks from not necessarily American government agencies. I don't know. But I think that how they found the rifle, I don't understand. I don't know if you do, how he got the rifle into the venue to begin with. Like I saw the picture of him. His backpack would have not fit that. That's a fixed stock. Wasn't like in his pants but I don't know.
These are the reasons and those questions that were too weird to me. That there's footage of somebody saying the 2 hours prior, there's a guy on the roof, and my initial thought was, nah, you wouldn't have seen him if he was on the roof. Like
the same thing with Trump though. The same thing with Trump. People saw that guy on the rooftop way prior to, and it's like they ignore that. As a security detail, like for me, that would be, what do you mean somebody's on the rooftop? I'm going to check that out.
Are they just comfortable that Charlie Kirk's not a politician? What is, when we talked about that Trump Butler shooting, you said something similar. Is it just, it's fine. We around, our presence is enough? Or does this look to something a little bit more nefarious in your view?
Oh man, dude, you're gonna make me put my tinfoil hat on after this, bro. Man, I think that like 9/11, like Pearl Harbor on this anniversary, but I think that sometimes it's weird that like when critical events like this happen, life-changing events happen in America, very pivotal points in history. It's like our defense is always extremely lackadaisical.
Mm.
I feel like that. I think that major events, for some odd reason, it just seems like that we put our guard down on purpose. I don't know. But they killed, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, like the same way.
Mm.
I think maybe when you get so much of a voice that you get that Yeshua treatment, that Jesus treatment, could be
Does
that too.
does Charlie, in your view, based on if what you know or not know about him, do you think he was going in that direction of your voice is a little bit too large?
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah,
Mm.
100%, bro. 100%. I
Mm.
think that when you start to go against the grain and your platform is higher than what the establishment deems it should be, I think that you start getting looked at. And when you go against that grain, the propaganda machine starts to twitch a little bit, starts to get the shakes, and they
Mm.
have to, take care of that cancer, which they view in their eyes. But I think that goes with anybody, from the founder of the Black Panthers to Martin Luther King. The list goes on, you know.
What are the common mistakes that security details, these types of oversights with these high profile targets? Obviously, we see the roof. What are some other areas that you say they fucked up here, they fucked up here, they fucked up here?
Mainly it was just the I guess when the advanced team goes in and they're, setting up a venue, and you want to have advanced knowledge of where things are, potential threat areas, known likely and suspected areas where a threat could be. Definitely messed up on that. And I think that maybe because he does not have the uh presidential secret service, security, that the lack of men who are on that detail. And maybe I hate to say it, but I think that one, it's a lackadaisical thing. People think, oh, we're at college and nothing's going to happen. You might have a person do X, Y, and Z, but in this environment, I think it needs to be taken more seriously.
Mm.
But I also think that the people that these guys are hiring, their background or their training may not be up to par in today's
Mm.
society.
Mm. You get in control. Nick says, Trump calls and says, Nick, we need you. What do you change? Security wise, any public this is the mandate that's coming down from Nick. These are the things that have to happen in any high profile scenario. What do you do? What are the top 3 things? You say this, and this has to happen. This is the standard. There's no deviation from this standard.
No deviation from the standard. These things have to happen. Top 3. Can I get a new training detail or have a standard at which I can test people on right now? As soon
Mm.
as I get in, I need a test.
Mm.
Shooting package, X, Y, and Z. Scenario packages, whatever. I would want that. The
Mm.
second thing I would want would be maybe looking at hiring. Guys with this prior background.
Mm.
You'd have to have some form of background in this line of work, if there are any. But that would, I guess, be the second thing. The
Mm.
third would be, that's a tough one. Third would be, well, of course, changing up the entire, how we do our advanced security details and how we actually perform the security detail in itself and what it means to protect the principal.
Mm.
The third thing I would implement, quarterly, quarterly, quarterly test, quarterly
Mm.
test. It'd be like, I don't know, like it's being like in the unit in Delta Force or something like that. It's
Mm.
an ongoing trial. You can be kicked out at any moment if you do not perform to these standards. It was somewhat like that in Ranger Battalion too. We're known for being, if you're not, hey, tomorrow's an 8-mile run or 5-mile run. If you don't make it in 40 minutes, guess what? you put on the black beret and you go to Korea to stand guard somewhere in Korea. But it will be run somewhat similar to that. I think we just got lackadaisical. You get, this very, it's not a high threat environment. It's rare something, it's rare things even happen. So I think that we've gotten, pretty much lackadaisical and forgot what that job entails and what it's supposed to really truly be about.
You said something earlier. You said this shooter, because I want to back up a bit. For those of you that don't know, this is our brother Nick. He is author. In his former life, he was known as the Reaper. You guys can Google him. You guys should go check out all of his books. You guys should make sure that you follow and subscribe. We're talking to him about the Charlie Kirk's assassination. And for those of you that missed it, he's already, from your perspective, he said, nah, this is not a professional hit. And you said something that his egress was trash. For the people that don't know what that means, what is it and why was it trash from your perspective?
So an egress is the route the route you're going to take to get out of that firing position. So how you leave the area from where you committed the shooting or whatever. As a sniper, that's how I would describe it. And why it was trash is because, one, he left I don't want to give away too much information, but if I were to do something like that, it would be with very quick access to manhole covers. I'll say that. One, two, he went through a residential area where there's everybody and their mom has Ring cameras, security cameras. My house is full of, you'd be hard pressed to make it within 100 yards of my house without me knowing about it. To go in a residential area like that, you're going to get tracked. And if you did hop into a vehicle, they have all the those cameras that can track a license plate. I think his egress route was trash. The distance was trash. If I'm going to take somebody out, truly assassinate someone, it'd be well beyond 500 yards. Well beyond 500. 500.
And that reason for that is because I'm so far out that even you never saw me from the gate. Me getting out of here isn't going to be an issue because I was never even close enough for anybody to see me.
Yeah, and I would never shoot from on top of a rooftop. If I were going to take someone out personally, I'd find a location that I can get inside of a building and set up a urban sniper hide. And I would have been there hours, if not a day prior to taking that shot. And when it's time to leave, I'm more than likely 99.9% of the time, I'll be shooting suppressed. And the way things work, backed off into a room. I mean, use your imagination, but you would have never known that it would take a while before you found out. And by the time you found out, I've walked away and done what I've had to do and taken my egress route out to a location that you would not be seen on cameras and popped out somewhere else.
This thing that you're talking about as it relates to, okay, I was there a day ahead of time. I don't think people could wait a day for a direct deposit, right? The general public, right? This speaks to the psychology of somebody a little bit different that's more of a professional than, a random. What is the difference in mentality to you? Is it just training? Is it the desire? Is it the research? What's the difference between, seriously a professional and this person that thought they could just throw the optic on here, get on the roof, and do the thing?
A professional, there's no evidence left. There's essentially as a sniper, and I've been through multiple other schools that essentially trains you how to do this job. Get into a location undetected, whether it's urban, woodland, Arctic, doesn't matter, and take a target out undetected and be able to get out of that location undetected. That means, there's so much stuff that goes into that type of work. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. The planning, you would have never known the guy was there. He would have taken weeks to plan this out, and you would have never known he was there. There's, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. I'm not, yeah, you would have
Why
never
does
known he was
Charlie
there.
Kirk warrant this? What? So based on what you're saying, Charlie Kirk doesn't seem to warrant. Let's plan this out for a month in advance, weeks in advance. This leads us to this guy's maybe not an absolute rando, but if he's not a professional in your view, A, what does Charlie Kirk represent for this person to do this? And B, what is he if he's not he's clearly not a pro?
Yeah. Um, Dude, we live in like a really heavy political climate right now, you know, and a highly influenced political climate with social media and stuff like that. I don't think he was a highly trained assassin unless we run with the theory that he did all this stuff because he wanted it, to look like this and he's well gone. But in my eyes, I don't think he was a highly trained assassin. And I think that he was maybe just heavily influenced, man, radicalized. We live in that climate these days. I mean, it's hard to really stress what you believe and express your faith without being, demonized for it. Is what it feels like. But I mean, it doesn't take much to like radicalize someone. I've faced radicalized individuals in my past life when I was in the army. It doesn't take much, man, and they're willing to die for their cause. It doesn't matter, and they'll kill you for it, just simply based on your beliefs.
So you think that this person now I can see that more of an argument in overseas, right? And
Yeah,
again, some of the followers, I know you guys are military, ex-military vets, all of that. So y'all guys know that when I'm saying these things and asking these questions to the chat, it's not for me to come off in any way, shape, or form rude to any of those folks. I know some of you gentlemen have lost loved ones and friends, so I want to be very clear to everybody in the chat. So I can kind of see that more so in another country where, the United States government and their political or financial interests are over there like, yo, this is what it is now. And the people
yeah,
that are there are radicalized because they're like, yo, you're over here bothering us, right?
yeah,
I can
yeah,
see that level of radicalization in comfortable America where even the most poor of us kind of could still run across an iPhone, right?
yeah.
How is that level of I am radicalized, but you aren't really fighting an enemy that's blew up your dad. Like, how does that happen in your view? And I'm gonna be real. Y'all know I love our fellow Americans, but I think we're very, very soft and comfortable, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how does that person get radicalized?
Well, beyond the fact that like they're naturally soft, I think something's off in their mental state to begin
Mm,
with.
mm,
I think that there may or may not be. I think that there is telltale signs that someone mentally may not be right.
mm.
And when you're not mentally okay, and you get pushed this propaganda, whatever it may be, and you latch on to this stuff, it could really mess you up as a individual who has the rocker already off.
Mm. How
Like
did
no
you switch,
logical
bro?
person is like that. No
Mm.
logical person wakes up one day and it's like they do these radicalized things. I think they're mentally off to begin with.
Okay, so that psychology goes back into now I got to ask you a question because in your former life, you were in opposition to very radicalized people.
Yeah. I was radicalized. That's why I
And
joined.
that's
Yeah.
my question.
Yeah.
A, how did your radicalization start? And
Yep.
B, how did you transition out?
Got it. My radicalization started from watching the commercials on TV, watching
Mm,
Charlie Sheen movies, Navy SEALs, watching
mm,
Chuck Norris, Delta Force.
mm,
And that's what radicalized me. Like I've always wanted to be a sniper. My mom helped me make my first ghillie suit in the sixth grade.
mm,
And like I would fake sick to come home from school and like sit out in the front yard with my ghillie suit and scare the kids as they got off the bus. And I truly felt like a sniper. So yeah, that's what radicalized me, and being all you can be back then in the army. Yeah, that got me, man. And just the where I grew up at, it was like I didn't graduate with high honors. I barely did that.
Mm.
Borderline expelled from school, from fights and stuff. So it was never like I didn't have an option. I had stay at home and watch what happened to all my friends, or except for one, Andre, shout out. But except for him, but that or go to the army and give this thing a shot. Or at first it was the Navy SEALs, but I'm colorblind, so the army cheated for me and I became an Army Ranger. But that radicalized me to get me out of it. I think it was just maturity. I was radicalized because I had a mush brain, because I joined when I was 17.
Mm.
My brain was not mature enough yet. I hadn't
Mm.
seen enough life. And with 6 deployments, I got a chance to see life in a different perspective. And as I grew through that, when I got out and I had time to process things, uh the radicalization wore off. Like, you fool me once,
Mm.
but I'll never be fooled again. I realized what was going on over there, regardless if that's what American civilians want to believe or not. But I got a chance to process things and talk to guys to realize that, hey, did we go over here on a lie?
Mm. Do you think that that's what happened?
100%, bro. 100%, man.
Mm.
100%. What did Iraq do to us? We're the weapons of mass destruction. I've been on those missions. I've had the NBC kit strapped on my head, gas mask and all, charcoal too. But I'm like that, and I think from talking to people when I got out and I went back contracting, I think a lot of these guys were just farmers, man, just people who wanted to protect their land. And looking back on conversations with while I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, like most of them didn't have satellites,
Mm.
satellite TV, and they have no idea why we're even there. They're like, "What are you talking about? What are you
Mm.
9/11?" They have no idea,
Mm.
But when you're young, you're heavily influenced, and you believe you're doing the right thing. That's just my belief, man. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that. And fighting people in caves, I've been there, done that, and I've never. This has nothing to go against the Afghan people or the Iraqi people. I just never met a genius, well thought out Iraqi or Afghani
Mm.
to be able to plot something out to this magnitude. That's
Mm.
my. You're gonna get me. Never mind. No, but I just never. I never. Yeah. Looking back at it, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I think we were pushed into doing something for the love of money, bro. Like, to be honest with you.
Do you think that these type of shooters, if this guy's a shooter and he's not a super stealthy, so smart, and that I'm gonna make it look like it was not a pro, that level of pro, do you think that we as a society are still inadvertently or intentionally radicalizing people here, even though there's not a certain level of, there's a lot of comfort here? And if
Yeah,
so, what is some of that radicalization happening for this type of person? Even though it may not be as extreme as the person there that's fighting for their way of life, and we had no idea why you're here. This person here does this. How again, I kind of want to go into how you think they're being radicalized.
like you said it, man. I'll paraphrase it. How you said that the media is the devil,
Mm.
or however your T-shirt.
Most
You know,
effective devil in America.
yeah, the most effective devil in America, bro. That, I think, is the media, and I think that the media, these major news outlets that are controlled by a hand couple of people.
Mm.
Um, I think that they're propaganda. Yeah, that it's a lot of propaganda that's being pushed out that I think is radicalizing, because they go for the weak-minded individual. No free thinker in my opinion, I don't think any free thinker watches the news and it's like, you know what, this is real, and I'm being told the truth all the time. No, I don't believe that. So I think they go for the lower IQ demographic, and they feed on that. So in a way, you could call it like MK Ultra, you know?
All right, for everybody that's tapping up, we're gonna go back because I know some of y'all. Listen, it turned into questions that I just wanted to know, y'all. Sorry, guys. We're gonna go back. we're gonna go back and we're gonna run through. We're gonna rapid fire, pun intended, through these questions about Charlie Kirk's potential assassin. On the screen here, guys, is the alleged rifle that was used to assassinate Charlie Kirk. We're going to work our way backwards. We're going to ask these questions and we're going to do the video. Guys, again, if you're watching and you're tapping in, this is Nick Irving. I want you guys to make sure I make all of his stuff is available. He's going to tap out here shortly because he's got stuff to do, and y'all going to just have to talk to me. That's just what it is, guys. But I want to make sure that you guys that tapped in a little bit later get Nick's perspective on this rifle, Charlie Kirk's assassination, love, light, positive energy, prayers, good vibes to his family, his loved ones. I want to be very clear. When we have these discussions, it is about making sure that the general public has a well thought out perspective from people that have experience in the space, as opposed to just what we feel. Just what we feel and just what we think, or clicks and all that other different things are different than evaluating things from a logical perspective based on experience and turning that into solutions for our life moving forward. So starting with this rifle, Nick, what's wrong with it? Why is this crazy? And why do you think, as you said earlier, that this guy's not a pro if he's using this rifle in this particular setup and optic?
Yeah, one, it's pretty much like a Walmart gun. A 30-06 is not like what you're gonna use for an assassination. I wouldn't. It would be something with a better ballistic coefficient, better accuracy, and a rifle that is, 10 times better than that. That's off the bat, no bipods. Then you look at the scope itself, and it's set up entirely like wrong. And I'm not too sure if like the round would even be able to eject. Now that I'm looking at it, you look at that front scope ring, and it's like, would that impede the ejection of that round coming out?
So for those of y'all that don't know what he means, right here, where this is here, is that going to be in the way of here?
And that's just, yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right. From a tactical perspective, does the scene suggest that this was a professional hit or might more likely a rando shooter? Are we calling him an absolute rando, or are we definitely not calling him a pro?
No.
Is he a rando completely?
Rando completely, like, what's your definition on completely just random guy? Okay, so look, I don't think he woke up that day and decided to take out Charlie Kirk. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. I think this was planned out over time.
So
I think it's planned out.
Is he a rando in the sense of, I'm gonna just grab my granddad's rifle and just hang out on the roof?
No. He would have had to know exactly what roof to get onto for the best angle that he got, which is a front-facing target. Those are the, obviously the best targets to have. It's like shooting a deer broadside. Mm. He would have at least had to have known that, at least that, and a semi-okay egress route. But I feel like any civilian would have taken that route to begin with.
Mm. Nick, how does he get on his roof unnoticed? How? We're gonna call him mid. He ain't Reggie, but he ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
He mid, right?
Yeah.
How does mid man get on his roof? Because if he's mid, he's not there a day before hanging out behind glass or eating a protein bar and no water for 24 hours. He's not doing that. So how does mid man get to that roof undetected?
That is a good question. I don't know if he had the rifle on the roof prior to it, which would only tell me that they had terrible security. Or if he tucked it into his pants, but I don't think from what I've seen on video and those still shots of him when he's bending his knees walking up the stairs, I don't see like any evidence of that as well. And that's not like a small rifle.
Yeah.
That's not a small rifle you can tuck into your, and I mean like he had like semi skinny jeans on too. So I don't and you can't break it down to make it smaller. I don't know how he brought it into the venue unnoticed unless like one random night, I hope I'm wrong, but he took the rifle up there prior to that and set it up.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know.
See this weird middle ground of things. I used to say this about, remember in 2020 where everything was just so stupid, and I was
Yep.
like, there's no way that these people are this stupid. This is a high level conspiracy. And some of my friends was like, Maj, you just forget how incompetent government can be. And I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way that they're this stupid. There's no way. And
You got the
so,
glasses on, bro. You can't take them off.
right. What lessons should organizers of public events or even public figures learn from this incident?
They have to have way better security, man. Like way better. I'm talking just don't focus on what's happening immediately in front of your speaker or your guest. You got to look at 200, 300. My preference would be at least be 300, you know, but like I said, if I'm going to take somebody out, 500 to 1,000, closer to 1,000 is ideal. You'd never know. Well, but yeah, I don't know, but I would do better security in that aspect, and I would also do checks when people come in. You know, tick some form of ticketing. Like you have to be vouched to be there. You just can't show up randomly without any, you know, ticket purchase, being checked on the way into the venue. I don't think it should be allowed that way.
Yeah. This right here is this guy's FBI's person of interest. This is a new guy. Now,
Wait, what? It's a new guy.
this is a new guy. So I'm gonna play this real quick. FBI's person of interest in the Charlie Kirk assassination, walking through Orem, Utah on his way to the university and later fleeing back through the same neighborhood after the shot. So maybe his leg?
Oh, I see that. You see you know what though? Because the weapon was found in the wood line, that may have been from jumping off of the roof to the adjacent rooftop. He might have injured or rolled his leg. Is that before or after the shooting?
After.
Yeah, he might have injured his ankle or something like that. Because I mean, to take the shot, get up on the rooftop, put that into your pants, and then get off the rooftop. I don't know. I just don't feel that. I think that's kind of like stupid to do it that way. Maybe he rolled his ankle or something, jumping off the one roof to the other, or while running through the woods. I don't know.
Lots of questions, my brother. I want to thank you tremendously for giving the breakdown. If I say it, if I say if I'm any type of objective and I'm not exactly saying what somebody else wants me to say, they're going to give me all sorts of the pushback. They cannot give you that same level of pushback because of your experience, expertise. I thank you tremendously, my brother. Everybody that is watching, please, when we have people that are willing to give you their time, which our brother cannot get any of these seconds back, okay? He could be spending time with family. He's got other interviews. We want to make sure that we're giving them the support and the love that they actually require. So I want to make sure that everybody is following our brother. Yo, bro, did you ever get your other X page back?
No, I did not, bro. But I've been thinking now, like, if this is before the shooting, that's a rifle in his pants. If it's after the shooting, he's injured. Like when you're tracking people and learning how to track, like if I were tracking someone, I would assume based on his stride and that drag of the foot and the heavy imprint on the next, I'd be like, man, this guy's injured. So if it's after the shooting, yeah, he's injured. If it's before, that guy has a rifle in his pants, which is wild.
And he still was able to get up on the roof.
Man. Wow.
That's wild. My brother,
Wow.
where can the people find you? Where can the people follow you? Where can the people, I want to know where everybody can get the books, because I don't want to mess it up for y'all. I'll mess up a show. Don't watch a show with me if I already seen the shit. So where can folks get the books? Where can people get to you, ask questions, and what do you want to say to the people in closing?
Man, I was going to have some smart little remark to say, I don't know. But no, you can find me on Amazon. Just type in my books or my name, The Reaper or whatever. Find me on X at, I believe it's now Irving Nick 33 or something like that. Yeah, man, my message, like none of that stuff matters to me. That's my message. None of that, what I just said, even matters. So that's my message. None of it matters, bro.
Nick, something mattered, bro. So what matters to Nick?
We're nothing but vapors in a season. Here one, go on the next, bro.
Damn. So I definitely can't watch the Eagles game this Sunday now with that breakdown. I'm like, yo, I'm watching the Eagles game. Nothing matters. It's
bro,
vapor.
Good. We're good, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you, my brother.
You too, bro. I love you,
All
bro.
Right. I'm going to text you after this.
All good.
All right, peace. Solutionaries. When you get champions that have respectfully and humbly share their lived experience, I try not to hit Nick up too often for that same reason. I think that the conversation around death is a serious one. And I think that when we're having conversations around these types of things, we have to make sure that we're very, very succinct and to the point. And so, because it's a weird thing. Like we started the first of the show, and I was having a conversation about, somebody that died in my care, that was shot. And I think that going to that place can be very, very, difficult for some, and some handle it better than others for sure. But what I'm saying to you all is when people are coming and sharing their expertise from a different space, I think it's very important that we link up, support them, follow them. I'm going to repost Nick's link. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put the site where you guys can grab the books. They're all over Amazon. And there's a series of them. So, guys, yeah. No, this was not a professional shooter based on the things that broke down. No, this does not mean that he was absolutely a rando that did not know what he was doing and just grabbed his granddad's rifle and just said, I'm going to go for it. Mid-range person, more than likely radicalized by the pushback against some of Charlie Kirk's positions. And I think that speaks to something very serious for us. What do I mean by that? How we present, how we communicate, how we translate our ideas. I just got off of a space, and I'm going to actually hop back on this space after I wrap up. We're going to wrap up a little bit early tonight. There was a libertarian space where we were talking about the conversation of how we are projecting this message. How are we getting this conversation out to people about liberty, about personal protection, about understanding imminent threat? These are very important things. When I say to you guys that you need to take a imminent threat course, I say that because I know there's so much transformative and empowering information that is in that class that will make you look at the world differently. When you are someone that assesses things, again, as we're talking about the shooting, there's video of people saying, hey, man, I think there's somebody on the roof, just regular people with cell phones. And they will forever be scarred because they did nothing. They just filmed. They didn't say, hey, let me check this out. Hey, security, is that one of your guys? They didn't do that. And that's a certain level of understanding imminent threat or situational awareness. So when I say these classes and all of these different things are important, and when we bring experts in and when we have conversations that are in align with solutions, it's very, very important that we all act. So I'm going to ask everybody to do something. There's 1,600 of you. First, real quick, give me you guys' feedback. What did y'all think about the show? What did you think about Nick's perspective? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let's get in the chat. If you're on X, comment, quote post, whatever. If you're on YouTube, throw it up in the chat. I want to ask everybody as we wait for some more of the questions and comments to pop up. I want to ask everybody to make sure that you support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Scrolling right at the bottom. Okay? Easy Tactical says he has some type of formal training, but definitely not professional. All right? GiveSendGo.com/solutionary as we wait for some more of you guys to give your perspective. We're still trying. We need, I think, like 79 or 80 folks at the $25 level. Let me tell you guys, from last night, most of you tapped in last night. The conversation is about these things and the shooting, the stabbing of the young lady over in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right? We want to make sure that we are giving any woman, more specifically women, but not limited to. Obviously, we want ladies to go first. Ladies, if you're in the show or in the chat tonight, I want you to have access to an Understanding Imminent Threat course for free. We're fundraising to make that happen. So it's 1,680 some odd of you in the chat. I'm going to ask every single person. Jason Kane says the video was before. See the timestamp on TMZ at 11:49 a.m. Let's go. I'm going to jump into this real quick, then I'll come back to the promo stuff, guys. FBI's person of interest in the Charlie Kirk assassination, walking through Orem on his way. On his way to the university, and later fleeing back through the same neighborhood after the shot. He has a noticeable limp. That is a classic misdirection move, or rifle stashed in his pants. Okay, to his point, and I think that's what Nick was saying. If this video right here was before, then he's acting like he's hurt because he's got the rifle in his pants. Okay? So if this is before and this is the guy, that's what happens. Mad Boy, I got your email. I don't know. I didn't respond to you yet. You sent me the email last night. I think that's you, if I'm not mistaken. FBI's person of interest again, guys. That limp, if this is prior to the shooting, that's how he's going forward, limping and running back. So that's how he got the rifle there. So when Nick was on and he said, I don't know how he got that there in the sense of it's not collapsible. It's not a collapsible stock. It's fixed, meaning it's stuck there one way. Okay? It's like your femur. Your femur don't bend. Your leg bends at the knee. All right? So that's what happens in that instance. Now, this means this is not is he white? Is he black? Let's see what he is. Let's try to see if we can scroll in on this a bit. Let's see. And I want to say, is he white? Is he black? So we can identify his. Can y'all see that? Can't really tell. Maybe we're going to split the diff. Maybe we're going to say he's Asian. Super Friday said if he was black, they would have called the police. Oh, shit. And he's running, coming back this way from the same neighborhood. Does he have a limp on the way back? No, because he dropped the rifle off on the way back. Okay. It does not look like a natural limp at all. Guys, all of this conversation... somebody said it's not a natural limp, so he's not black. XJ says, to answer the question, how did he get the rifle in there without being seen? Simple. He planted the rifle beforehand. DJ Play Nice says, if you're a seasoned listener, welcome back. Appreciate your support and hope you continue to return. Thank you all. I want to thank you all. Listen, guys, we're going to ask everybody to do a particular thing. We're going to ask you to share this space all over the place, okay? Repost, quote post it if you're watching on X. And again, if you are a young lady, more specifically, but not limited to, brothers, y'all can shoot me a DM too, but we're going to try to get the ladies in first. Ladies, this understanding imminent threat situation is very important. We are fundraising $2,000. I'm with you, Mad Boy, on that airsoft, right? $2,000 of fundraising. Now I think we might need 80-something more donors at the $25 level. There's 1,700 people in the chat tonight. 1,700. If all of you give $25, we get a lot of work done. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. That link is scrolling right up under you. If you're watching on X, it's my pinned post. It's at the top, the first one on my page. Please make sure that you hit that. It's very important. We cannot underestimate, or I cannot overemphasize the importance of training. And if you are uncomfortable with firearms, take the Understanding Imminent Threat course. Recognize conflict, avoid it, de-escalate. These are things that you should have in your tool belt. Very important. So that's one. We want it also everybody to pay it forward. I think we need about 511 more donors at the $100 level or something like that. Every donor at the $100 level, you'll get access to all of the classes, Understanding Imminent Threat. My point is, guys, this is information that we all need. I want you to be able to defend your family. I want you to be able to teach, you get the lifetime membership to Solutionary University and you share it with everybody in your family like the Netflix password. I want you all to share it. I want you all to be informed. I want you all to know how to carry a firearm. I want you all to get access to meal plans and workout routines and shooting drills and all of those things. Those things are extremely important. Okay? This is transformative information that I want you all to have experience and know. And I want you to empower your family. I get it. It may not be a long-term shooting, a long-distance shooting, but stop the bleed, understanding imminent threat, and having the basics of firearms alone. These things all come with the membership. And I want you to share that with your entire family. So I'm going to ask everybody, givesendgo.com/solutionary. It's very important that you do that. If we can get everybody to donate at the $25 level, at least let's count down to get every single person to pitch in the remainder of the $2,000 so we can continue to give the women that need the Understanding Imminent Threat class free to all. Very, very important, guys. Thank you all for tapping in. For those of y'all came in late, yes, we did the interview. Nick was in for about 40 minutes. You late as hell. But we're going to save this space all over the place, and you guys are going to share it all over the space as well. Thank you all for tapping in. I will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/Maj Toure. Be safe, be solutionary.